just like music, you're continuously creating. I think food is exactly the same way. Yes, everything's already been done, but there's a new way to discover something, a new way to reinterpret something. So I don't think our job is ever done, because you can always do more. Yeah.
So when you were starting to cook in Teflop, and you say your mom, you guys would be cooking there in Polokwane, what about the cooking? What was your favorite part of the entire thing that made you believe that you want to do more of it, to an extent that you left the corporate world to say, this is what I'm going to do?
I think, like everybody's been saying, food is so personal, and the greatest part of cooking was always being in my mom's kitchen with my mom. That was one of the best ways for us to bond. And every time I think about food, those are the memories that, I think of me with my family or with my friends. So yeah, and then I thought, why not do this every day? Yeah.
So we know their personal stories. I mean, you used to cook with your mom. Go and
they'll like that version more.
Go discover this food journey. So these are personal things. When you, as corporate as you've got these big restaurants and everybody knows them, people land in the country and immediately you're like, I'm going to take you to Marble. Is it not difficult for you to still have a personal story whilst being on the level you're at when it comes to being commercial?
I think the biggest challenge is not to forget that personal story, that reason why you cook. And it does become difficult. Your role changes in the restaurant. All of a sudden, I'm responsible for 300 teammates essentially. 300 staff members we have now between the two restaurants, and those guys and girls are my responsibility. So that's the first thing. So if I'm not cooking with heart and I'm not cooking with passion, if I'm not looking after the food for a start, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to be out of business before I'm in business. So yes, that's important. Probably the most important thing for us is to remember is to tell that story, and that's where the relationships with our guests come in. People get to know you on a personal level, and that's the beauty of having the book now as well. They can actually take a little piece of Marble and a piece of me home, and also understand why I do what I do. So, yeah, maintaining those relationships and remembering why you cook and why you started cooking is key.
Why did you start cooking?
Because I knew that what I was doing at the time, so I started by studying law, because I'm argumentative, talkative, so I thought...
You watch Anele McBeal.
There you go. And I thought, I want to do that. And then when I got into it, I realized that I'll do it, but it's not really feeding me in terms of my passion and drive. So I had the conversation with my parents, and my dad literally asked me the simple question, what do you love to do when you're not thinking about it? And my immediate answer was, I love to cook. And that's exactly where it started. So he would explore that. And it brought me here today. So, I'm glad that I listened to that voice.
So, cooking at something like DSTVDelicious Festival, right? It's a different environment. You're not in your kitchen, and you're in the bullring. You're a gladiator, and there's people around you. And you know how your heart breaks when you mess up a dish, ne? I've cried before in the kitchen. I'm like, Uber Eats. So now, what's that pressure like?
I really hope that Uber Eats pays you for the amount of time you spend talking about Uber Eats.
I love it.
Whoever knows these people.
So how do you calm the nerves at something like a festival where we're there? We love you, we adore you, we want your attention. Yes, carry on cooking, but look at me, I'm taking a photo. No, look up, no, it's blurry. You know what I'm saying? How do you balance that pressure?
I'm just looking around the people that are here, and I think I'm so different to everybody here, because I never wanted, I'm grateful for it, but I never wanted food to be a thing in my life. I was just cooking at home, posting a picture on Instagram, and then this was kind of birthed by people. So every time I cook in front of people, I freak the hell out, because I really this is not what I'm really good at. I'm actually a singer, so but I love doing it. So sometimes I just hope that people love watching me do it. But I do get freaked out cooking in front of people way more than singing, and I get freaked out singing still.
Really?
So just imagine,
Do you get freaked out cooking in front of people?
I actually don't. I really, really love it. That interaction that you get. I liken it to when actors say they prefer the theatre to being on TV. So that really close interaction, getting everybody to chime in and taste what we're making. I'm really excited. As you I don't know what other I think I've been so blessed that I don't even know what else I would ask for.
So wait, maybe your own restaurant or your own tour, like dream for us, dream man.
A restaurant one day.
A restaurant.
One day.
He'll give you his wedding. See, I'm organizing deals there, 20%. And for you, like, where is this going? What's the dream? Where do you want to take it?
I think I follow her sentiment. I have been so blessed. And the life I'm living now feels like a dream because I get to do exactly what I love every single day and share it with people. So to want more, I think would be greedy. But of course, I'm not going to stop. So if the more is coming, please do come. Please do come. I welcome it. But yeah, there's nothing specific. For me, I guess I'm one of the chefs on the panel here who hasn't ever had a dream to have a restaurant. I know how hard the industry is because I've worked in the restaurant industry. And for me, running a restaurant isn't one of those things that I aspire to do just because I want to do this more than that.
You like your skin?
Yes, okay. I do.
Check skin.
David, your skin's beautiful.
Your skin's beautiful.
But yeah, it's just not one. Yeah, I'm not that kind of chef. I'm not the restaurant kind of chef.
I mean, naturally for you, it's a Michelin star, right? That's where we headed.
Actually not. You know what I'd love to do?
What?
Is to open a restaurant on my terms. You know what I mean? So when I say this, I mean this like with all due respect to
it's a safe space. There's no one here.
Yeah, exactly. But we deal, especially with social media nowadays, and everybody's a food critic and everybody has something to say. I mean, it's a tricky
Everyone's
thing.
got a phone that can take a nice picture of it.
Or an ugly picture.
Food critic.
No, absolutely. And there's I want to get to the stage where I can actually tell that guy or that lady or you're welcome to leave this restaurant and never come back here again. Or tomorrow decide I'm going to Italy for a week, close the door, lock up, come back after a month. I mean, like I want to get to cooking on my terms again. You know what I mean? Where you really cook, because it takes a lot out of you. It's a joke, but I mean, it's also pretty serious as well.
And we believe it because I mean, one of the times I was at Marble, Antonio Banderas was there, and like I say, when people land, when A-listers land, we all ship them off to Marble because we know you're a sure bet, right? And so when you're telling us these things, I love the honesty. You know what you should do? You must get lockers, ne?
Yeah.
And then when we arrive, you must put your phone in your locker, and then you eat your food, and then you leave.
I would love to do that.
So that's why things like this are important because these revitalize your spirit for what you're doing, right?
It's the energy of it. I much prefer this kind of thing to live TV. Oh, not to live TV, to TV. You can ask Jay. I really struggle sometimes with the scripts and everything else. But when you can feel the energy of people, and when people are enjoying what you're doing. Like I can't wait to get outside just now and entertain people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not an entertainer essentially, but being live and when people relate to you, that's lekker.
It's almost like being a comedian. You've got the response immediately. You know if people like it or not.
I'm just not that funny. And I don't sing.
I beg to differ. Jay, where's it going? I mean, you've got a gin out, gin.
I'm just having a lot of fun. But I just wanted to say that I think that like when I started doing the food thing, I think about six years ago. Which I think we were one of the first people to do it in a really cool and different way.
Yeah.
What I really dig about it, and I think is one of the things that freaks me out about being amongst people that are actually really good at what they do, is this year I really feel like we're highlighting probably the best chef that this country's ever seen. And I think that David Higgs, I mean, like he's not a celebrity at heart. He's not a guy that's be like, yo, I'm this guy, but he's so good at what he does. And I think that big ups to Delicious Fest for actually putting a chef that deserves to be known for being called a chef. I freak out when people are like, yo, Jay, you're a chef. I'm like, I'm not a chef. I'm just a singer that likes to cook.
Yeah.
This is a chef. This is a dude that knows his way around things. And I'm so glad that at the pinnacle of things, I'm the friends to David Higgs. And whereas sometimes or somebody would be offended to be like, it's Jay and friends, and then who the friends, But like, it's a real honor for me, and I've been his friend for a good amount of years, and I think that's what excites me about this year's Delicious Food Festival, the food side, is that we're highlighting the best chef in this country, and he deserves to be here.
I also just want to add to that. I think what's very, very important for South Africans to understand is, and this on the serious note, with all of us sitting here, we need to stop putting South African cuisine into different compartments.
And that's her thing, yeah.
We need to see this. I mean, we discussed this over and over again. It's like when I grew up, it was all about the Cape Malay. I was down in the Cape, so it was easy. Bobotie was our national dish. What the
If you Google, it still is.
Yeah.
If you Google, it's
Yeah, absolutely. And malva puddings and stuff, and that's the issue that we have here. When you speak about Italy, when you speak about a certain country, you know where you're going, and you know what you're going to get. And we need to get to that. People need to understand what that is. And I think that especially this festival where we are now and having the foodies lounge and everything else, that's a great start. Well, I mean, it has started already, but it needs to. Anyway.
Oh, wow. Well, I just wanted to say that my cookbook, which I don't even think is available anymore, but whoever's got a copy, every single chapter of the book is paired up with a playlist of music that you can cook to, so you should check it out. You just go in QR code.
Is it all Mikasa music?
No, it's all different. So I got like Kid Funk, Greg Maloka, a whole bunch, Ken Zero, a whole bunch of my favorite DJs to compile a playlist, because that's what I love about cooking, because I love dancing and cooking. You guys go first. I have no idea how to answer this question. If I had to define my food by a song.
No, your song. Find your song as like
a dish.
Like.
So would it be bangers and mash?
Oh, that's good.
No, sorry.
That's a great one. I'm going to go with bangers and mash, because I've made a lot of bangers in my life. You know what I mean?
You came back from a
Yeah. So we actually had this question just now. I'm a bit of a sing-along kind of guy,
Okay.
So, and 80s music is, I mean, not quite Cyndi Lauper, but, so it'll probably be an 80s song, maybe something by Depeche Mode.
Isn't Depeche the pour some sugar on me?
No, that's somebody else. So keep the balance right. There's the perfect one. Depeche Mode, keep the balance right. Because essentially my dish is all about balance.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's such a difficult question. I love, being really happy. I love laughing and jiving, and like it would have to be something really lively. So maybe a Bruno Mars-y type of thing.
Like an Uptown Funk.
Vibes. I can shake my shoulders and whisk at the same time. Something like that.
Okay. Lazy Makoti?
I think that it would be something like very South African. Like when you hear it, you just think, oh my gosh, this is so home. Like,
I looked at you and I thought, Shesha.
that works. That works. It is South African.
It is, but you can't come out. Give us one.
Something extremely South African, like
Lady
maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah. I actually got goosebumps.
Yeah, so Lady Smith, like my brother.
Jukes lady, are you happy?
I'm very.
Quite an interesting topic in my house, because my wife is Tswana and I'm Portuguese, but I decided to highlight maize as an ingredient. So doing a risotto with maize rice, a corn risotto, and then I'm doing something with bop, which I think is pretty cool. Doing bop and then doing chips out of it, crumbing it with parmesan and dipping it into a chakalaka sauce. Should be fun.
Isn't risotto called the dish of death?
What?
Like people can mess it up. It is called
Well, yeah. But when you're a top chef, you got things under control. You know what I mean?
You're the man.
It is very
It is.
risky.
100%. If you want to go to a restaurant, you want to see if the chef knows his worth, ask him to make you a risotto. For sure.
Come see my demo.
And you?
I am doing a fusion of different cultures to me, or different parts of my heritage, because heritage is very broad in my opinion. So I'm a Durbanite. I was born in KZN. So if you're a Durbanite, a true Durbanite, you have to love curry. So I'm definitely doing a curry element. And Bunny Chow, obviously, because Durban. And because I'm Zulu by cultural heritage, I am making, instead of normal bread, I'm doing ujek. So ujek Bunny Chow is what I'm making.
Wow.
Oh, I'm coming around with
Yeah, come and see it, come and taste it.
I mean, you are the champion of us, finding that
The champion.
Yes, you are. Everywhere I read, that's where you are. Where you want us to find that heritage and define it. Like David was just saying. What are you making for us?
So they had me at African.
Yeah.
I was just like, praise Jesus. This is me. So I am making jollof rice. My favorite jollof
Okay.
rice. Yeah. We're going to be having that with some plantain.
Okay, nicely done. David?
Yeah, so we obviously got the pop-up restaurant there, so we're going to be cooking all weekend, which is going to be quite challenging, especially with being a rugby fan. So we are doing little dumplings, little fritters actually of marog and pap that we're also doing with it's not shakalaka, but it's like a spicy dip. I'm a big fan of tagine, and I think, you know, having this whole African sort of theme, we thought we'd do a bit of a take on a tagine, which is quite nice. And then my favorite is, being most of my life in boarding school, sago pudding. So with orange and burnt butter, and so it's really, it's tasty. So yeah, very stuff you not close to me.
When you said boarding school, I thought you were going to say Maltabella, and I'm like,
Hey, when you have to carve it out, and the rice just floats around it.
We just ignore that voice. And also, when you waking up and dreading what you're going to do is a sure sign that you're doing the wrong thing. So I think that if you wake up with that feeling, it's time to sort of reassess. Reassess what you're doing and actually dig deep and find out what drives you when you're not even thinking about it. You know, often your passion is something that you do whether people are watching or not. So I think that's definitely how you know.
Your passion is something you do whether people are watching or not. Okay, I've stolen that. Thanks. Jay, talk.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I just think I should be honest all the time. When you mentioned the question, the one thing that popped to mind is the story that you know. The other day I did a show, myself and Bravusi Mahlasel on guitars, live on radio. And the host welcomed us on stage, and he said, the legendary musician, icon, Vusi Mahlasela. And then he said, and up next, and also on his side, the foodie that sings, Jay something. And I was like, damn, this has gotten way out of control. And that's one of the reasons why I always say, like, I'm not a chef, because I'm really not a chef. I want people to relate to what I do, because I think a lot of us aren't chefs, and a lot of us are just home cooks. And that's what I love about cooking. And I think one of the hardest things about this food journey is that it's grown way beyond what I didn't even plan any of this. So it's a blessing in disguise. But I've realized that, like, it's gone a bit too far in terms of people looking at me as a chef. And I really just want to bring it back to be like, I'm just a home dude that goes to the grocery store, and when he wants to cook, he Googles and he checks Mile 8 and he checks the Lazy Makoti book and Zola book and my book and so forth. But that's really what it's about. So I think for me it's just been like a moment of reflection, because I think there are some amazing chefs out there that are really good at what they do. And for me, if you want to learn how to make, if you're a dude and you want to learn how to grill up a steak, then I'm the guy to go to. If you want to know how to make a burnt butter sauce with sago pudding and orange juice, this is the guy to go to. You know, so yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but that was for me. That was a moment where I realized, like, whoa, hold up! Like, I'm a musician, and I think I'm really good at what I do from a music point of view. And then I think I have a lot of fun cooking. And if you dig that, then follow me on that journey.
You've answered it. Lazy Makoti.
I think that I'm very familiar with the feeling that Zola was talking about. Just waking up and feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. So in a previous life, I was an auditor. And I remember that feeling so well. So I think once you start having a few of those, it's time for a change. Yeah.
David, we'll wrap it up with you. When would you know?
Well, I don't know when I know, and I'm hoping that I don't know. I think I'll die doing what I do. I've been doing it for 30 years this year.
Sure.
So I can't really do anything else, to be honest with you. However, when I start losing steam, and especially I think in the head, I head back to Namibia and I go fishing. And the thing about Namibia is, that you guys must understand, is that when you go fishing, there's no one around you for miles.
Yeah.
You literally stand on the beach. It's pretty ice cold, and it's, the West Coast is raw. It's not tropical. And there you start getting perspective again about life and what you enjoy. So you catch the fish, you cook it on the fire, you have a beer or a glass of bubbles or whatever it is you do, and then sort of you understand again. It goes back to, you understand again why you cook and why you love what you do, and then you're okay. You can go again.